The kids of Elm Street don't know it yet, but something is coming to get them. Nightmare on Elm Street. No! No! She's the only one who can stop it. If she fails, no one will survive.
Help me, please!
Wes Craven's Nightmare on Elm Street, rated R.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Beyond the Gray Media. This is Josh here, checking in on you out there in YouTube land. YouTube, how are you doing? How are you feeling? How's your week been? It's Friday night. Welcome in, grab a seat, crisscross applesauce, however you want to be. Let your hair down. We're here for you. We are talking tonight about 1984's mastered in high definition, the VHS, A Nightmare on Elm Street, Wes Craven's classic. Let's break down this VHS and all. I'm just kidding. We have a stack, in all honesty, of A Nightmare on Elm Street movies here. An absolute killer stack, right? It doesn't get much better than A Nightmare on Elm Street. I have so many movies to review. I have no time to do it. But tonight, we're talking about A Nightmare on Elm Street. We've got a bunch of different versions on it. We're going to talk about which ones I like better, which one works, and why it continues to be such a masterpiece, such a go-to this October. We got 13 days left on the calendar. Let's check it out. Thanks for being here. In 1984, a man named Wes Craven put pen to paper to one of the all-time greatest stories, and my favorite horror icon to ever grace the silver screen. Y'all need a hint? It's been 40 years, and few movies have sent shivers down the spine of 80s kids everywhere, like the global phenomenon of one fedora and dirty sweater-wearing clad Freddy Krueger. Jesus, just saying his name fills me with so much nostalgia. You feel that? It raises my heart rate, brings me back to such a feeling of wondering, where's he at in the room? Is he under my bed? Is he in the closet near the windows? Shit. It doesn't matter. He can feel my breathing rhythms, and he can tell when I'm relaxing, feeling all too comfortable, and drifting off to sleep. That's where he lives for 40 long years, in the dark recesses of every 80s kid everywhere. Wes created a monster, and my world would never be the same. Now, to be fair, my first experience with The Nightmare on Elm Street started with Freddy's Revenge, the superior picture. I'm just kidding, but I love that movie. That VHS ruined me. But let's talk about the perfection that is Nightmare in 1984. I don't know what Wes was going through at the time to create such a perfect storm, but this seems like a prove-it piece, a last gasp at filmmaking and a man who had a lot to say. A Nightmare on Elm Street starts with that iconic shot, the boiler room. Charles Bernstein sets the table with the maniacal man, some scrap metal and a man on a mission. Frantically pounding metal gives way to the shape of a razor-lined glove. Nothing out of the ordinary here. Perfect pacing, shots, score. Might as well see what these dreams have to offer. Here lies the underlying theme of Nightmare. Twisted realities give way to worse dreams with no proof of purpose. The friend circle that inhabits Elm Street are left looking for answers as their dreams are invaded by a monster, a myth, a whisper, a figure who gets off by inflicting pain and prefers to duck out and murder them at their weakest moments, their dreams. A Nightmare on Elm Street is special. Forget lightning in a bottle. This is more than that. This was a damn cultural revolution in the 80s and early 90s. Freddy was everywhere. He broke through pop culture, soundtracks, cartoons, spin-offs, action figures, toys. You couldn't exist in the 80s without feeling his presence, and for that, a tip of the hat has to go to good old Robert Englund. Sure, he was great in the little bit roles like Dead and Buried and Eaten Alive and so on, but nothing will touch what happened when he donned that dirty red and green striped sweater and played with his food. More than one-liners and easy marketing, Freddy is synonymous with horror and giving us a real villain and a reason to be afraid again. Really, he made the slasher genre itself relevant, and he paved the way for many slasher films moving forward, and for that, I'm ever thankful. So let's break down different releases of A Nightmare on Elm Street and the different mediums that they are on. So I think the original format for this film, forever I thought this was like the pinnacle way to watch this. 1984, this is the VHS from 1997, I believe. I bought this from Tri-Cities, Washington at a Suncoast Video with my paper route money. I saved $29.99. I would buy this thing every day of the week and twice on Sunday. I love this movie so much. I love this cassette. If you got a really good hi-fi VCR, this thing is going to still sound pretty good, especially if you have like an old tube TV, a little CRT. It's worn, it's tattered, and it's mine. I love this film so much. I love this version mastered in high definition. High definition for 1997 is a little bit different than high definition now, but on one of those CRTs, man, with a great little one of those like old school, 5 speaker system that my parents had, this thing ripped, dude. Color timing perfect. Moving on, kind of the cheap way out, this was the little 4-pack that came out. This is the DVD. When did this bad boy come out? The 4 film favorites of A Nightmare on Elm Street 1 through 4. Kind of cheap, but if you don't have them, and you want this little flipper case, it's fine. It'll get the job done. But what is really the crown jewel of the collection? You know what's up, right? The New Line Platinum series. The Nightmare on Elm Street collection. This is going to be a longer video. We're going to go through this for a second. This is the way Freddy Krueger is supposed to be. If you're listening, New Line, Warner Brothers, put out a 4K box. Just replicate this. Just put this out just like this with all the special features. Or give us that kind of VHS where he's just like, he's got his claws out. That was another great release. These little snapper cases are so sick with the original cover art, the poster art. Pop it open, snapper. I love the little card index with all the chapters. Nobody really pays attention to that anymore because we're just lazy, right? Everything's at our fingertips. But this was the business back in the day. Look at that cover art, dude. On the disc, killer title, man. Nice little synopsis on the back. This box set obviously has every Nightmare, minus Freddy versus Jason or whatever. Then it's got the Nightmare series that has every single special feature and their mom included. Great little book there's a little new Nightmare image. They just don't make box sets like this anymore. Nightmare on Elm Street, there is the original shot that they used for this little booklet. I'm having a good day. I just sit back and read this thing, man. I love this. This is the real deal. This is what you want. Absolutely killer. The Nightmare on Elm Street collection with the 3D glasses. I think I paid it's been a couple of years. I think I only paid like $30 for this thing, and it was brand new. A couple of it was parts of it were still sealed. This was unopened. So if you can get your hands on this thing, man, pick this thing up. Invaluable. Perfect edition. It sits on top of my shelf because Freddy's the best. He's the absolute best, and this is the best it gets. The best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. Moving along to the Blu-ray format. This is what I had before, right? Is this the Infinifilm release, I think? Look, this is fine. I thought forever this was all we were going to get because there was no way they were going to release. They would give us every single Friday the 13th and Halloween movie on 4K. Every single one. They would never give Freddy the treatment. But guess what? We've got it now. And I have this slip from Horror Fiend on Instagram and then VHS Slips Couch Hard. Look at this thing with the cardstock. I don't want to make you cry or anything, but dude. Killer side, back, incredible. So I keep this thing at the top of my shelf too. I love this slipcase, man. I love media. That's like my favorite, especially the Texas Chainsaw. You know what I'm talking about. This is a killer release. It still looks pretty good. Next, we've got A Nightmare on Elm Street, the collection from 2012. This is all original Nightmare films. I still have the little. Sometimes I take this knife right here, right, and I'll just kind of like slit it right there. So. Sometimes I think that I'm going to care about something so much that I want to have the packaging on it. I love physical media so much, but this is not one of those releases, dude. Not even a little bit. So you got the Nightmare Collection, you've got 7 films, and unfortunately you just have these stupid, couple of movies per disc, and they never want to, they're going to sit in there now because I'm filming, but they always fall out. I just think that that's cheap. We deserve to have them all on Blu-ray on like single, original discs like they did back here. This is not how you do Freddy Krueger. The Nightmare on Elm Street 2024 Collector's Edition 4K box set. Nice chunky hard box from the UK. The back's got this awesome little Warner Brothers logo, and you can actually feel them. They're like embossed like stickers, so that's a really cool touch. I love how it's kind of got this little New Line kind of logo. I don't love that back cover, but that's fine, and I don't really like the back cover either, but I do. Those stickers are kind of a cool touch. The inside is really where this thing makes its money. That matte finish steelbook, dude, incredible. Great little side piece with the original artwork and the logo. Freddy coming through, Freddy in the boiler room, 4K disc, and then also a Blu-ray all region discs. We're going to talk about the actual look of the film here in just a second, but this matte steelbook, it's all that, man. That thing is so sick. And then you've got this nice little kind of envelope here, Nightmare on Elm Street. You open it up, and certificate of authenticity, 11,726 out of 27,400. Some great little lobby cards are pretty cool. I never know what to do with these. Like, what are you really going to do? They're pretty flimsy. You feel like they're just going to get, wet and screwed up. So on the back, they got a glove, but it's a cool touch. I know people really like those things and they used to collect them. The poster, I'm going to go ahead and put this in a frame. Just the poster from the cover art, but this back poster, dude, I don't know if that's the Japanese version or what, but that is something else, man. That poster is so sick. And then it does have a nice little booklet. People are upset because it's the DVD artwork and it's not even the right Freddy. It's got some great little stills in there. For what this is, I think this was like $58 or something on. I think I got this from Diabolic. I originally bought this from Zavi, but I changed my mind. I was watching CHH talk about it and he stressed me out. I was like, all right, I gotta change it. So if I can put this back in and also talk on camera, there's no way that can happen at the same time. Let's talk about the actual transfer and what this thing is offering for Nightmare 4K. To give you a little comparison, tonight I was watching the greatest horror film of all time, The Exorcist, right? From Warner Brothers. And that 4K looks so good for 1973 when Father Merrin's out there in the desert. Like, you can see every part of his fingertip. You can see every furrow in his brow, every wrinkle on his face. He is struggling in that heat with those wolves. Pazuzu. There's a couple of parts of that DVD or 4K set where you can tell that the timing is off and they screwed up. Like, there's like 2 spots. That's how you should make a 4K. And I'm not, because it's taken this long, I'm not going to totally complain. This compared to this and this is a major upgrade. It looks good. It looks pretty great. I think the sound is the standout because I never really noticed like all the little like trickles in the boiler room and the kids, the song 1, 2. That has a lot of personality, a lot more depth, a lot more fun. I just think that for how long they waited, 40 years, there's already a blueprint on how to make this thing look perfect. And I just feel like for the fans, we deserved like a show-stopping piece of physical media. Now, I don't think this is the best this film's ever going to get. I think there's a better scan. I think they could do it better. But it does look damn good. You do have... I had to adjust a couple of settings on my TV, and I kind of found the way that I wanted to look. But the big problem is the color timing's different. So if you grew up with this movie like I did and you've watched it 9,000 times, it takes a little getting used to. I was like, what's wrong with this movie? After a little bit, I was like, oh, okay, I see what they're doing. The stuff that's at night and the stuff that's in the school looks incredible. I think that, when she's talking to the person that wants her hall pass and is Freddy Krueger, that looks great. The colors in that scene are great. All the stuff at night looks great. There's some other shots that look pretty good, but for the most part, it's just a little bit flat. Like I wanted it. It's not like a Planes, Trains, and Automobiles transfer from Paramount. It's not bad. It looks great, but it's not stellar. It's not a reference 4K, but I'm still pretty happy with it. I love this box set. I think this is incredible. I think the sound puts it over for me. I wanted the poster. I'll probably get the slip too if I see it out in the wild. I'm gonna buy that too because this is one of my favorite movies of all time. And yeah, I feel like for what it is, it could look a little bit cleaner. There's still a little bit of grain, but there's almost like some digital noise and color stuff that's just a little bit off. But for the most part, if your sharpness isn't too high, it's going to look pretty damn good for you. So, it's a big jump, especially when you've got every format minus Laserdisc. So get out there. If you see this thing in the wild, I would recommend it. If you're a Nightmare on Elm Street fan and you want it on 4K, you got to have it, no matter what. If you want to see more from me, please like, comment, subscribe. You know what to do down there. Talk some crap, and then follow me on social media. I don't know what I'm going to get into this week. I got 3 days off, so I'm going to try to do something a little bit more long form. We got to go into something twisted, right? People are begging for something mean, something gross. That's what I got to give them. Take care of yourselves. Cheers.